Welcome to this episode of Best of America by Horseback. I'm your host, Dale Shields, with my good friend Bud Wackerly. Bud rode with us on the Mexico to Canada ride in 2009, a ride put together by our friend Tom C. Today we are at Fort Robinson in Crawford, Nebraska. And we rode through this part of the country when we rode from Mexico to Canada back then, and we've always wanted to come back. This is a location that we're excited to be able to show you. The fort and the grounds here are immaculate. This is a terrific place to come and visit, to learn the history. And so we want to share that with you today. Also, the trails here are really great to ride. And we're going to show you those trails on this episode. We hope that you'll sit back and watch with us Best of America by Horseback. On this show, Best of America by Horseback is at the famous Fort Robinson State Park near Crawford, Nebraska. It has been a long-term goal of mine to return to this location and ride the breathtaking vistas of the valleys, buttes, and the hill country that is here. Also to revisit the overwhelming history of the area and the encampment. In 2009, Tom C. led a group of riders from Mexico to Canada on which I was trail boss. While riding through this country, I vowed I would return one day. Enjoy this episode as we share with you what makes Fort Robinson so special to us. Sounds of flutes echo through tall green pines, a haunting reminder of the past. Atop the buttes, brave soldiers watched o'er the valley where cannons blast. Ghostly forms and bugle calls that once were flesh and noise gave brisk command for all to stand, for troops of men and boys. Thick clouds of smoke hung in the air as morning light turned gray. The night watch done, each mother's son must answer the call of day. Here Crazy Horse would fight once more, but breathe his last faint breath. For freedom, fight or take to flight would be no worse than death. The Robinson camp became a fort. Now history overshadows it all. If you listen close, you can hear her tale from every stable and hall. The change of time brought a change of need. The camp served a host of tasks, holding POWs to dogs of war, training remounts, a daunting task. The air at once grew silence, no war, no shout of command. The natives gone, the years passed on, now museums decorate the land. History is just history. The rights, the wrongs, the all. Fort Robinson stands in a treasured land where her buttes overshadow it all. It was our privilege to have Robert Lemon, Superintendent 2 in charge of livestock and grounds, lead us on our 2-day trail ride, as well as share with us his knowledge of the history of Fort Robinson. Robert, first of all, I want to thank you for what you've done in helping us as we've made this approach to Fort Robinson. The ride yesterday was a lot of fun, even though the wind and the cool temperatures
the weather wasn't quite permitting.
Were there, but thank you for what you've done there. You have a very important job here at the park, and anybody that knows livestock knows how important that is. And so, first and foremost, how long have you been here?
Well, I've been full-time since 2013, but my dad was actually the superintendent of this park before, and so I grew up here at the James Ranch, which we kind of rode past yesterday.
So you actually have an extended history beyond
Yep.
your work.
Yep.
Here.
I've been here for 33 years now, technically.
Nice. Tell us a little bit about the history, as you know it, that developed here at the fort from its inception.
So the Red Cloud Indian Agency was established here in 1877. At that point in time, there wasn't any military here. It was just the Red Cloud Indian Agency where they got to come and get their commodities and stuff. And then different things that were happening in that year frame caused the military to come down here and set up a camp. And that was in 1878. So when Camp Robinson came, and it moved down along Soldier Creek a little ways away from the Indian Agency. And then in 1878 is when it became the full-time park. It
Right.
became established and turned into the remount and everything. All the buildings and stuff that you see is when that was built.
So it was quite a development over time to get the fort to what it is.
Yeah, it was a pretty slow process as they were going. You had Crazy Horse turn himself in and was killed here, and that was still when it was at Camp Robinson and stuff. And when the railroad was supposed to go up through Laramie, I think, it changed its route and came through Fort Robinson. And that's when, instead of shutting Fort Robinson down, it expanded into the remount, the military base, and everything like that.
You're watching Best of America by Horseback on RFD TV. Stay tuned, and we'll be right back. On this show, Dale Shields has taken a group of riders to Fort Robinson State Park near Crawford, Nebraska. This place is full of beauty, history, and fun activities for entire families to enjoy. Sit back and watch this portion of Best of America by Horseback. While visiting at Fort Robinson State Park, there are a lot of activities to enjoy, such as basketball courts, tennis courts, indoor heated pool. They also feature a large rodeo arena where rodeos are held each Thursday night during the camping season. There are museums with historical artifacts from time period activity at or near the fort. There are hiking trails along with the equine trails through the enchanting hills and bluffs. And fishing is also available on this 22,000 acres of beautiful landscape. It is also possible to take a Jeep ride to see the buffalo herds, the cattle herds, and the horses, as well as the beauty that surrounds the Fort Robinson State Park area. Knowledgeable historians also give you a well-informed history lesson while enjoying an open-air horse-drawn wagon ride on the grounds of the beautiful fort. While visiting Fort Robinson, we had the opportunity to visit the Trailside Museum and learn about the mammoths that roam the grasslands near Crawford, Nebraska, as well as the grass-eating rhinos and many other species that were here in time past. We're very fortunate in traveling around and getting to go trail riding with a lot of different people, but this week's been kind of special because we've had a special guy riding with us this weekend. Owen, it's been a pleasure having you ride with us on the trails. This is your very first trail ride, huh?
It is.
How did you like it?
It was very fun. It was kind of scary a little bit, but I got used to it.
You did a super job. You had Grandma riding by you all weekend. What was that like to be with Grandma and getting to do this?
I just like being with Grandma, getting away from more like other people so I can spend time with Grandma.
She's kind of a special lady, isn't she?
She is.
Deb, what's it like for you to get to bring Owen this weekend and bring him on his very first trail ride?
It's been a dream for 10 years, really. I've always hoped that he'd be my riding partner. And so as soon as I heard you guys were coming here, I called and got reservations right away, and then I asked my daughter if it was okay. So
It all worked out.
it all worked out great. He's learned a lot of history that he hasn't learned in school, which I think is so important. This place is just full of history. And then the whole learning to ride on these buttes has been quite an adventure. A little nerve-wracking for me to be behind him watching this, but
Right.
man, he did good.
Well, I think you gained a lot of friends this weekend that were looking out for you on your first trail ride. You agree with that?
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a lot of people that were watching Owen go up and down those trails. When you get back to where your friends are at home, what's the first thing you're going to tell them about this weekend?
I'm going to say, I was on a TV show.
All right. Yeah, well, that's pretty special, and we're glad to have you on the TV show. We hope you get to trail ride with us again. We want you to be safe and have fun and just see this as a really good time because we love doing it, and we love doing it with great people like you. So thank you for that. Grandma, we hope that you get to spend more time with Owen on the trails. We can see this close bond that you all have, and that's really what makes this all worth it, is being together, being family, being friends, and enjoying one another. And you're doing a terrific job.
Thank you. And to bring him on the show, he has so many adopted aunts, uncles, and grandparents from everybody participating in the show. It's just been a wonderful experience for both of us.
That's great. That's terrific. It's what it's all about, isn't it? So you're looking forward to going trail riding again?
Yep, for sure.
All right. How'd your horse do for you?
Pretty good. It did a lot of these, so it's used to it. It's nice.
So he kind of helped you out this weekend?
Yep, I just let him go down the hills.
And he knew what to do. That's terrific. Well, Owen, it's a pleasure having you with us. Deb, thank you for being with us. And we hope we get to ride with you a whole lot more. And so next time you're going to be singing with me, correct?
Yeah.
All right, I'm looking forward to that.
This is Best of America by Horseback.
We'll be right back. This is Best of America by Horseback. Stay tuned and watch with us. Today we're riding at the beautiful Fort Robinson State Park. Here the history is rich. The landscapes are breathtaking and the trail riding is amazing. The landscapes vary from rolling hills to flat terrain to hill climbs that will put you on top of memory-making plateaus overlooking the 22,000 acres that make up Fort Robinson State Park. Our riders enjoyed the changes in the landscapes, riding on flat terrain and then going to the hill country. Each day was a new adventure, and everyone enjoyed the changes that took place. Mary, what's going through your mind as you're looking out over the beauty of this country?
Mary asked her, how was your day in
I love it.
Nebraska? Did you get to ride again?
The drive was certainly worth it.
How's your horse doing for you?
Much better now. Was a little hot at first, but now it's doing really well. Grass was.
What are you thinking as you're coming up these trails?
I am blessed. I'm blessed to be here at West Drive with my good friends.
After a day of good riding, our riders are ready to pull off the saddles and gather for a Friday night meet and greet. It's always a good time when our people get together to be able to enjoy one another, have a meal together, and just relax and talk about the good memories that were made on the trails that day. You know, these things can go away if someone doesn't preserve them and carry them forward. And so you do a very important work, and we appreciate that. And it makes this country what it is.
Right.
So thank you for that.
Appreciate that, and we appreciate guys like you coming, because if we didn't have horseback riders coming from outside area, this place would die.
So we're here at Fort Robinson, near Crawford, Nebraska. And what a tremendous place this is, Bud. And we have had the opportunity to ride for 2 days here. And the views from the top of the buttes today, what was your thoughts?
It was just amazing what you could see out across the valleys and out across the countryside. But I think part of what made it kind of special to me was to think what was going on in this part of the country back in the late 1800s with the natives, the Indians, and the army and the people that were moving in. And we're here where all that history was made.
There's a lot of history here. To think back on what was happening, we also have to think about that was part of the freedoms that we now enjoy. And so it's been a long history in our country of places like this that have made it possible for us today to come here to this beautiful place and bring our horses and be able to ride on this 22,000 acre treasure. The guides that took us out on the trails, they were trying to make sure everyone was safe, keeping everyone in order, and make sure the horses were all good. And you know, that's really important for what you and I do, isn't it?
Yes, it is. And getting to spend some time talking to them was very interesting too, because of what they do here.
Our visit to the Fort Robinson State Park was a most enjoyable time. The staff there is friendly, knowledgeable, and welcoming. Our visit to the park coincided with their opening weekend, in which they were offering Jeep rides, open-air horse-drawn wagon rides, history tours, and a nice meal to the public. On Saturday night, we hosted our Best of America by Horseback catered dinner, in which folks have time to fellowship, enjoy one another, talk about memories that were made on the trails through the weekend, and exchange contact information with their new equine friends. This is always a special time for our Best of America by Horseback family. We were honored on this occasion to have Marty Sheets share with us some cowboy poetry.
He's honesty, hard work, and pride, with a touch of something special deep inside. He's what this country was founded on and by. He's the heart of America. He's a part that just can't die.
And of course, as always, I enjoyed entertaining for the group.
All my name come round the town, down the forward takes my place. Cowboy life I've always loved, getting lost without some trees. Won't give up and I won't give in, I'm a cowboy till I die. And I know there's got to be a good place for me, underneath the western sky.
We want to thank you for watching this episode of Best of America by Horseback. We've had a tremendous weekend here at Fort Robinson near Crawford, Nebraska. This is a place you can bring your family, and everyone has something to do here. Talk about a few of the things that they can enjoy when they come here.
They can enjoy Jeep riding, fishing, trail riding, even hiking is another big thing.
They have horse-drawn carriages. You can see the time period buildings that were here during the time of the service of this fort. This is an exceptional place to bring your family, learn history, and also have a good time. We'd love to have you come and join us on one of these locations. You can do so by calling 540-829-9555. Our website is www.bestofamericabyhorseback.com. Keep up with us on our Facebook page. We'd love to have you come and join us on one of these events. Until then, always ride the high trail.